Shalom, everyone, and welcome. I used to have an incurable disease. Used to. I used to be addicted to drugs. I chose when to get out. With the power of the mind and the power of God, all things are possible. We can either be victims without self-accountability or realize that everything that's happened to us, despite that, how we choose to respond is our choice. How we choose to see it, our outlook on it, is our choice. And there is great power in that because what we focus on becomes our reality. When we're feeling down and out, why do we think things like, why do bad things keep happening to me? Or what did I do to deserve all this? Why don't we ask ourselves things like, what do I have to be grateful for? And if a less fortunate person were in my shoes, would they be thinking the same negative things that I'm thinking right now? Would they be happy to be living my life? What if we asked ourselves those kinds of questions instead? So first off, what are the thoughts that go through your head when you're feeling down, helpless, or depressed? What are the thoughts that help you get out of those ways of thinking, if you have any? Please let me know in the comments because there are people here that would love to help. And if you have something that works for you, chances are it'll work for someone else. So please leave a comment. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I felt like I was a victim to family obligations and expectations. A career in sports would have been a legitimate escape from the career path that was set before me. And it was something that was very doable. There's no doubt in my mind that I could have made playing sports into a career. But when I was in 7th grade, I was diagnosed with lupus. So lupus is an autoimmune disorder. It is a connective tissue disorder. It's an inflammation-based disease and considered incurable by health organizations like the CDC. So if there is no known treatment or medicine that can be prescribed or administered to cure something, then it is deemed incurable. So it is curable. It's just done by God, not doctors. But lupus sucked while I had it. Okay, it sucked. It took me out of soccer. Running just for even a couple seconds turned into feeling like I ran for miles and my legs were about to collapse. It got so bad I was almost in a wheelchair from it. And even when I overcame it, it still crushed my dreams of playing football because the pediatrician told my mom not to sign the paperwork to let me play football, yada, 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 right? So when it was all said and done, I chose not to pursue sports. Because after it was said and done, I didn't have lupus anymore. I was doing things like boxing and MMA stuff. I could have done that. But then I chose to do drugs, get involved with gangs, and do street fights. I was a victim to my own limitations. We either choose to be a victim or to change our perspective in a positive way. And anything in life, whether it be a positive experience or a negative experience, can be seen either way. It just depends on our perspective, how we're looking at it, right? So there's good things that in the bad experiences, there's bad things in the good experiences. Just all depends on how you look at it. So take this for example. So I did 30 days in jail and it was my fault. I wasn't arguing that. But instead of seeing it as a negative experience, I chose to use it as a break, a time to reset. I focused on reading, working out, meditating, and doing soul searching and worked on myself. And those are positive things that I used to do prior to going to jail, didn't do anymore. But after jail, I continued those things and to this day. So that's a positive thing that I took from that experience. And for lupus, I chose not to accept that I would have lupus for the rest of my life. I chose not to let it be my life. We choose to overcome and we choose to grow. But if you're going to have personal growth, you have to be vulnerable with yourself and be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, then you're not truly honest with anyone else. I mean, if you can't be honest with yourself, then how can someone else truly trust you? We can't even trust ourselves and believe in ourselves if we lie to ourselves. And that's what it is. If we're not honest with ourselves, then we are lying to ourselves. And no one can trust a liar, which includes our own self. So that's where we get self-doubt, lack of confidence, lack of self-worth. All of those things stem from lies that we believe about ourselves, that we have told to ourselves. Okay? It's nothing else is doing it. We are doing it. It's all going on up in here, you know? So when we dig down deep into our subconscious and our pre-programmed patterns, if we get down to the root, identify and tackle the root of why we have these self-destructive behaviors and why do we limit ourselves, then we can be free from those things. Freedom from the matrix. All it takes is flipping the negative associations that we have to past experiences. And I know it's easier said than done. It's not an overnight thing for sure, and it takes practice. At first, it might seem like you're going to climb a huge mountain, you know, and you might have a fear of heights, right? But instead of looking at the top of that mountain, just focus on your next step. Just start doing it, right? Just start doing it. Focus on your next step. Where you're going to put your hands. Keep your eyes focused on the next thing, the next handhold, right? Always facing up. Not necessarily way to the top, but you're focusing on your next step, right? You won't have a fear of the heights because your focus isn't there. Okay, it's right here. It's right in front of you. If you stay focused and determined, then the climbing becomes easier and easier. When we practice turning our negative reactions into positive ones, eventually the positive reactions will be automatic reactions. We won't have to think about them anymore. We'll just do them. But it takes repetition and determination because failures will occur, but if we are determined, then we can grow from the failures and become stronger from them and not destroyed by them. Okay, repetition, repetition. I try to remind myself whenever I can remember to that there was a time in my life where all I wanted was to be normal. I would have given anything just to be able to run and be a normal kid. And with that in mind, am I utilizing the skills and the gifts that God has given me right now? Whenever I'm feeling down and out, I try to remember. Again, it's easier said than done, okay? That there was a time in my life where my only desire was something as simple as just wanting to be able to run, you know, and that tends to get me out of that way of thinking. So are we squandering our abilities? Are we throwing away our potential? What do we have to be grateful for? Those are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. Shift the focus, change the results. The choice is ours and ours alone. Shalom.